Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video it's going to be my 5 things that I wish I knew before starting as a paralegal at a Magic Circle law firm. So let's get started. Starting with the first one, and by the way, this isn't in any type of order as to what I wish I knew most. I'm literally just doing them randomly, and yeah, I'll get started. So the first one is chargeable hours. Think chargeable hours is around 7 hours a day, but it can be 7 billable hours. So usually you have billable work, non-billable, and I find that at these type of law firms they do expect you as a paralegal to do 7 billable hours minimum. And for me personally, that is quite a lot of work, especially if you're not actually getting a sufficient amount of work that is going to be 7 hours worth a day. And when this is reviewed and looked at, and it could be like at the end of a week, or it could be fortnightly, potentially just seeing yours and you're not meeting those targets, it can be quite disheartening, especially when you're not actually getting the work. Second thing I wish that I knew is expectations. So the expectations of paralegals can be to very much go above and beyond. I do understand that if there's urgent work or there's a job to be done, then it needs to be prioritised and it needs to be done. However, having paralegals work at the weekend or making them feel pressured to think or feel that they need to do that to help out or catch up on work and stuff like that, just because other senior members in the team might be doing that, I just don't really think that that is a very healthy environment. And to me, it's quite a toxic environment actually. I do not condone paralegals to be working at the weekend or working really late nights and then having to wake up in the morning to start work and do another full day. Me personally, it just doesn't really make sense. So that's something that I actually wish I knew, is just the expectation. When partners are working those hours or working at the weekend and mentioning that to junior members of the staff, it's just like, well, you're actually getting paid a lot more than what I'm being paid. Paralegals are being paid peanuts in comparison to partners. So for them to expect you to be doing that, and especially if you're not even getting paid for the overtime, I just think that that is just something that's really wrong. The third thing is when paralegals want to progress through the firm, and that would be by applying for training contracts and things like that. You could be applying as an internal or as an external to the same firm. With the internal routes, you do have to get sponsorship by a partner, which is usually the head of department, and that just means that they're in support of your training contract application. But sometimes I can find that dependent on the firm and where you are in the team, they can say to paralegals that really you should be here or you should be at the firm for around 18 to 24 months before they would look at sponsoring a training contract application, which personally I just think is really wrong. 18 to 24 months is a really long time, and you could be applying elsewhere externally within that time frame and secure a training contract, but yet the firm and the team that you're working with, they don't even want to sponsor you for a training contract at that firm, knowing your work ethic and that you are through that process. I just don't agree with that either. I really don't agree with that. And there seems to just be this weird culture at those Magic Circle firms around like the paralegals, and everybody's just in a competition to secure a training contract at that firm, and is almost like competing against each other. So it can be like a really weird vibe, and for me personally, it's not something that I it's not an environment that I would want to be in, and I don't think it's a healthy environment either, being around all of that. I just don't really think that is the place to be. The fourth thing would be the firms that have gyms, swimming pools, breakfast bars. I understand that like it's 2024 and firms are a lot more like modern now. Obviously with this Gen Z era and just making things a lot more like appealing to younger crowds. However, I just don't feel like, for me personally, like a gym at work is a bit of a red flag at those type of things, because to me it's just like, okay, cool, if you wanted to take that time out to go to the gym after work or before work, it's just like, oh well, you don't need to like go outside of work because you can actually do it at work. That's just how it seems to me, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. And to be fair, if my firm did actually have a gym there, I don't think that I would use it anyway. I'd actually, yeah, I'd go elsewhere, because I also just feel like going to the gym with my work colleagues as well would just be a little bit weird, and just keep work and my life or personal life just separate to a certain extent. But that's just me. Final thing that I would say I wish I knew before working at a magic circle firm is there tends to be, and it's dependent on the department too, but you do find in a lot of the litigation and dispute areas, there's actually a really high turnover of paralegals. This, obviously, if there's a high turnover, this is not a good thing, because why are paralegals coming in and then exiting as soon as possible? So to me, that's like the biggest red flag. And if you're constantly seeing a firm advertising for a paralegal position within a certain department, literally all the time you're seeing it on LinkedIn, stay away from that job. Like, do not apply, because there's a reason as to why that job ad is going up every week. That is not the environment or the place to be. And I'm sure there's a lot of other firms and a lot of other positions that are well suited and a lot better for you and your mental well-being. So those are my 5 things that I personally wish I knew before working as a paralegal at a magic circle firm. If you can relate to anything that I've said, then drop a comment in the below. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I hope it's been useful, helpful, and you'll take something from this video.